Well guys, it has been a while. I did a lot of landscaping around here. That big hole over there is filled in. The lane's fairly nice, and got a hole here beside me yet that's full of all kinds of junk that we gotta mess with sometime. But today we got a guy coming to put a fence in, a post every 8 foot, and then that welded wire in between it. I don't know, put 2x4s on the top and frame it all in, but I don't think we'll have to do that right away, but that's kind of the plan. So you can see the garden's real nice. That worked really good. And anyway, so that fence is gonna go along the edge of the pond, mainly to keep the deer and stuff from coming up into our yard and garden, and keep the kids out of the pond, and just to, I don't know, touch it up a little bit. The pond actually does have a very slow, gradual, it gets deeper and deeper and then it drops off, so there's some room there for a child to go in the water before it gets deep. But we'll put it there, and anyway, either way, it'll keep the deer and the wildlife and stuff separated a little bit from our yard, keep them back down there. And another thing it'll do, it'll run the fence up to the across the little minnow pond creek there, and bring it up, and then I can use that as a chicken fence and bring my other chicken fence around, and I don't have to make the full circle with that chicken fence. So he should be coming shortly. He's gonna pound the posts in and put that welded wire on, and we'll see how it turns out, I guess. Yesterday there was a deer standing right out here. I watched him come and he nipped 2 pepper plants before I chased him off. Actually, the dog decided he could chase him off, and he ran after him until he kind of got out of distance, and then he stopped again. So as long as the dog doesn't go out there chasing him for fun, we're all right. But yeah, I'll show you around a little bit what we did so far, and we'll go from there. So the fence is gonna start back there in that kind of dark hole there. Then it's gonna come out, and the pond is right here, and then it's gonna run from here, basically in the center of the screen here, all the way out behind that little chicken shed there. So doesn't look, it's quite a ways, yeah, right there. So then our garden can be fenced in off of there if we want. The pond will be down here, and I'm thinking about putting a gate in halfway through there, but that won't happen today. They'll just fence it clean through. So here at the pond, the fence is going to be running right here somewhere, maybe a little farther up. And then I want to take, this is supposed to be like a beach sand. I'm letting it grow over because I'm gonna push all that sand down to the lower end and try and get the beach to be down in the flat a little more, and then bring this up and you know, seed grass again and make it real nice here. So I don't know, it's just too steep. The sand is washing down into the pond, and I don't know, someone had done this and they just kind of dumped it in here, and I don't really need that big of a beach area, so I think we'll bring it all the way back so we can mow this a little better, and then have sand and then no sand, rather than kind of sand and washed out. And, yeah, sand here, and then it runs into some real sand. So I'd like to take all this sand, maybe even this, and put it all down here, and maybe even a little farther out across there, and then extend it out into the pond a little bit. But here it's just washing down into the pond a little more. It's too steep, and that little jagged edge isn't quite as nice, so we'll figure that out. I am happy with the pond. This is June, almost the middle of June, and I mean, I got a little bit of that stuff here about 4 feet along the edges. And this morning that side looks worse than it is. There's a little bit of tree seeds and stuff floating on top that all blew to that end today. But other than that, it is clear. You can see the fish right down in there. Looks like the chickens all decided today would be the day to come out. I moved the fence so the fencing guy can come over, and it's not quite as tight, so they must have found a hole underneath there. So anyway, right here where the chickens are walking is where that big hole was in the yard, and I raked it all flat. Haven't seeded grass yet because I want it to settle a little bit, because there was a big hole there. And then up here, the landscaping I did isn't done yet either, but it's kind of the main thing is there. And then on up through the house we got dirt there and everything ready to, eventually we'll get it green and get some flowers planted. But it is dry. I mean, down here by the pond it looked green. This property isn't too bad. Right here you can see the grass is brown, but some yards, like actually just at the end of our lane here, there's someone lives out there, and their yard is brown. I don't know why this one isn't quite as much, but maybe it's because there's no grass in it half the places. But if we're lucky, we'll see a couple big bass sitting down here. See all that movement in the water there? That's all those minnows that I threw in there that got smart and don't get eaten anymore. But every time you walk up here, a few more of them get eaten by a bass. Just watch this here. I don't know. Yeah, there you can see. Yeah, there you can see a couple fish in the water there. Anyway, so these weeds are tall on the other side of the little creek here, because that's where the chickens get to be. You guys need to go back in your pen. Couple of ducks. Well, anyway, he should be here shortly, so I'm gonna take the camera back there, and maybe I'll get a little bit of filming done while he's here putting the posts in and all that. And hopefully one of these days, if everything holds out here, we'll get this big area here all raked up and seeded down and all that. But yeah, here I got those rocks and then flower beds, and I don't know, some of that's just gonna have to wait till next spring when the flowers start growing, but we'll get some of it done. One of these days I'm gonna put that video on of all the landscaping we did here while we were working on it. It's gonna range from almost winter all the way up to now, but it's a work in progress here. Yeah, he should be here shortly. Stay tuned for that. Well guys, the first post is in. Actually the second one is also in there, so they're putting the corner posts in first, and then they're going for the straight shot there. Just like that, we have a fence. I'm gonna run some 2x4s along the top and one upright, kind of like this, on the top yet sometime. I probably won't do it right away. We'll leave it like this for now and get the boards, and then we'll start with that. So let's go look at the chicken fence. So now it wraps around there, and I just run that Premier 1 portable fence along the little creek there, and now we don't need to wrap it all the way around. Let's go check that out. Yeah, so I just ran the fence along the little waterway here. One of the geese came out a hole in the fence once again, but that's alright. Bring it on around here, and then the new fence starts here and runs down the lane here, and then takes a turn there, goes back that way. Well, that is that. Like I said, I'll put a top rail on here and a side, one on the side for sure, and just to finish that off or whatever. But that's it for now. That'll keep the deer from coming up here and keep the kids up here too. So yeah, now we just need to finish up the landscaping here, and we'll be ready for some green grass. We need rain pretty bad, but I'm not a farmer, so I can't complain, I guess. Thanks for watching. God bless.